Everyone, Papercut here with another replay review. We have Art the Clown, who is a Plat 2 Abyssid and Ayyubid player. He's playing against an English opponent on Dry Arabia. Now, I don't know. I would say Ayyubid is one of my lesser played civs, though. Just playing against them and watching pros play them, I feel like I have a general idea of what they want to do. But English, I feel like, is probably Ayyubid's one of Ayyubid's worst matchups, mostly because one of the power units of Ayyubid is the Desert Raider. Longbows from English really take care of that very well. And English can play so defensive with 2TC and White Tower that the timing attack that Ayyubid often wants to do in Castle is harder to pull off. And by timing attack, I mean the best time to attack when your opponent can't quite defend it. You often see that fast Castle into Camel Lancers, Siege, and Ghulams potentially. That's just kind of harder to pull off against English. For opening military reinforcements, it's going to give you those free Desert Raiders to be aggressive with. Now, if the English player does longbow rush you, it's actually pretty tough as Ayyubid to defend that, because once again, a free Desert Raider isn't going to help you against longbows. So I don't see you towering, but this feels like a fast castle because you're not gathering a lot of wood. Now you're relying on wood. There's a tower case, so this is going to be a classic fast castle. Now your other option, of course, could have been to do military wing, but go all in on military wing. Because remember, military wing allows you to make rams immediately, so you can do like mass desert raiders with rams and push. And if you catch them by surprise, that could work, especially if you drop a stable and add horsemen. So you have like a horseman front line with desert raiders shooting with arrows and kind of cover each other's weaknesses. He's only 2TC, so keep in mind, a all-in against a 2TC can work, especially if the person is not used to being pushed. A lot of times I think English players get used to getting away with the 2TC without aggression from non-knight civs, so it's readily available to you. My issue is you haven't quite scouted what your opponent's doing yet, so you're making kind of like your decision before seeing what your opponent's doing. Now you should have a plan when you enter. You should go, okay, it's English, I want a fast castle. But my rule of thumb, my general, I'm coaching people is when you start aging up, you need to cross and see what your opponent's doing so you know how that affects your plan. So you see his 2TC. And so that kind of means this fast castle needs to be pretty aggressive. Losing that villa really sucks. Switch to arrow, switch to arrow, switch to arrow. In these situations, you can switch to arrow and get a couple more shots on him, potentially even kill him if he's low enough. As I was saying, the second TC, you have to come in pretty immediately with either Ghulams or Camel Lancers and be ready to push pretty fast into the fast castle, because if you let his eco get set up, it's gonna be really tough for you, and he's just gonna try to get up that white tower as soon as possible. Nice catch. No, I don't know why you went in with why'd you go in with the blade? I assume that was a misclick because you were doing plenty of damage with just doing arrow. And see what I mean? If you had gone into a stable and had been making Desert Raiders immediately, you could have potentially shut down that shut down that town center, or at least made him lose villas in the process. My confusion is this fast castle is not fast. You kept 6 villas this entire time on wood. You should already be clicking up the age up, and that's important also because you can't speed up your age up. Your age up is a set time because of the nature of your House of Wisdom, which is great for you. You get to gather resources the entire time, but it also means that you have to be a lot more efficient on your fast castle. So these villagers, once they got enough wood for basically a house, so you have 40 and then enough for a production building, should have all been on food and gold. Like, you should already clicked up to castle by now. And against a TC like this, that's actually really important to get up the castle fast. Second Desert Raider's coming in. Like, what do you need all this wood for? Are you gonna 2TC when you age up? And this is why the fast castle for Ayyubid is especially good against 2TCs, because you can get the free villagers, which basically catches you up in vill count. Like, you're at 26, he's at 32. That's when villagers immediately catch you back up. So you have this ability to negate basically the second TC for the initial part of your fast castle. Yeah, just a lot of wood. You need more on gold. You're gonna spend a lot of gold when you age up. Like, you want like 8 to 10 on gold as you're aging up because you have so much gold to spend. And think about the units you want to make. Camel Lancers cost 110 gold each. Desert Raiders cost 50. You want the Desert Raider upgrade probably, which is 250. So there's just a lot of gold to spend, so you want more on gold as you're aging up. So in general, my rule of thumb is you want a lot on wood as you're aging up into feudal, because you have a lot of things you need to build with wood when you hit feudal, and then you need a lot on gold as you age up to castle. Same with imp, because you have so many upgrades and so many things you want to buy with gold. You want to make sure you're not low on it as you're aging up. I don't understand why you come in with knife. You could easily use arrows to do damage, but you keep coming in with your knife, and it's confusing. I just make sure you're using your Desert Raiders to their full capabilities, so you're not losing them like that. Because maintaining them is valuable, especially because like you wanted to get on that deer, right? He was sitting on these deer waiting for that with his king. If you had 2 or 3 Desert Raiders here, you could easily kill that king and then get that food, which is important for your next push into his base, right? Nothing, arrow. But look, you've just aged up, and now you're making Camel Lancers. You just moved a bunch to gold. That's good. But if you had 2 Desert Raiders here with archers, you can't get the berries. Like, that's the beauty of doing some sort of mass camel archer, like lancer, sorry, a Desert Raider like this, is because once he gets onto a resource, you can use the arrows to really just poke him off the resource, like on this wood line here, for example, these berries. So he's going to get the castle himself, but he rushed it. He really doesn't have much resources. You need to get out of there, yeah. You need a tower next to these deer. He knows you're there, right? So just want to make sure you're doing that. Now, the tough part for you is pushing a white tower is really, really hard, because it does a lot of damage. It does 12 damage per pop, which is still 7 damage a hit against the Camel Lancers. So that's pretty significant. He's going to go pure knights, which is great for you. I mean, your Camel Lancers do great against knights, but if he outmasses you, that will be a problem. Why are you diving there? You see that his wood line's right here, right? He's literally all of these villagers sitting here completely unprotected. If you just ran in, you get these villagers. So how do you identify that? You have to ask yourself, where's he getting each resource? So food is obviously on these berries back here and on this farm. Gold is next to the TC. Where's he getting wood? You've seen it. He's not on this wood. You saw in the lumber camp here. You should be diving the wood line, and then you can dive the berries back here. So you're just not attacking the things that could actually get you vill kills. Now you are, but you need more than one. You gotta run. Ooh. It is also worthwhile to get Desert Riders with this, and your Desert Raiders are your ranged, while your Camel Lancers are your melee. So this is why he wanted to do knights, right? He wanted to do knights so he could raid you off food and make things difficult back for you at home. You are ahead of him on units, though. He has 12. Is he starting to make crossbows? Well, you have 15 very good units, almost all Camel Lancers, but they keep taking hits without getting anything, so a lot of them are half health, unfortunately, or those are Desert Raiders. The key is I don't want to see you run back. Just rally your next... Okay, good. Just rally your next units and you'll fight him with that. That's good. You need 2 towers or units on the tower, but you're making a mangonel right now, which does... Okay, what went wrong here? You didn't attack everything together, and you just lost all these villas over. Oh my goodness, it's falling apart. So what did he do that was so good against you? 1, he got to age up without much pressure. 2, once he did age up, you didn't attack his weak points quick enough, which is his wood line and his berries. And when you did, you kept separating your units. So he separated, yes, but he still kept critical mass at home. He has crossbows and he has knights. He only sent 4 knights to raid, enough to do damage, but not enough that you could easily catch them. And now you're getting those, but when you attacked one, you lost a group of 3 Camel Lancers here first, and then you pushed in with 4 here, and then you have 2 sitting over here. So when you decide to attack, all those units need to be together, and then you're attacking. And then you need to actually watch this fight happen, because you needed the mangonel to attack the crossbows. But what are you attacking? You know what I mean? Like, you decided to attack from this angle. What have you attacked? There's these houses here, sure. But you see his production. Why didn't you just come here, build it, and destroy his production? Destroying these stables would have been great. I think people often undervalue destroying production. Destroy, he can't make it. If he's only making it on the white tower, it's really tough for him. He needs to make more. Then you can rotate to the front. And you catch him on the deer over here. And you rotate and you can actually attack this TC with mangonels. So if you make like 3 mangonels, they'll do okay damage against the town. So you can make rams as well. So once you decide to attack, keep your units together. If you split them, that's how the defender gets back in. They get your little groups of units. And then eventually, especially against these 2 TC, he'll just out-eco you. So you have to be careful about splitting your groups and then losing them like this. At this point, you're very far behind. And he's making enough knights that he can actually fight Camel Lancers, which is intimidating. So knights have more health, but Camel Lancers, of course, will do extra damage against... Do they not? I mean, they are doing Camel Unease, so they're not doing extra damage to knights, but they're getting the Camel Unease, which is reducing knights' attack damage. But if he just gets enough knights, he can overcome that. See right here, once again, he gets small groups, which is really painful. He's just doing a good job of taking the fight at the right spot, while you keep on taking bad fights and losing groups of units. You need to drop like 2 or 3 TCs at this point. You have the wood for it. The way you come back in here now is that you basically pull all these villas off gold, put them on stone, drop 2 TCs, and then keep massing. And while you're doing that, you're just raiding and making him chase you, because you gotta get 2 TCs up and get back in, because at this point you're significantly behind. Now he has a winning comp, knights and crossbows. Yeah, that's tough. And that's basically GG. Yeah, man. I mean, the plan is a tried and true Ayyubid fast castle, right? I've kind of already explained where you went wrong on it, but just to reiterate, the pressure is key early on to slow him down while you're fast castling, but your castle was slow. You did not get to the fast castle as fast as you could have. 2, you kept losing units. Your free desert raiders are really valuable. Like, keeping them alive is really, really helpful. So you have to losing units. And you would take damage without doing much damage yourself. You weren't attacking positions where you could actually raid, so a raid away from the white tower while you're building your mass, and then attack with all your units together. I hope that was helpful. Let me know if you have any questions, and good luck on your games.